It's April 2025 and we're back in Munich in Germany for Bauma. Bauma is the world's largest construction equipment exhibition. So in this report we'll take a look round and we'll start with Link-Belt. And this American manufacturer had a small stand. There were also two new Link-Belt models on display, both made by NZG. And US collectors may have the benefit of additional tariffs to add to these prices. The two new models are the 300AT and the 120 HT, and both were available at the show.
Our colleague can see all around the machine because he has a 360-degree view. The machine is equipped with common safety systems, so if somebody is around the machine or some collision is going to happen, the machine supports the operator by stopping by themselves.
Over at Bomac there was a large 1:18 scale model of a roller, and it's probably a resin model and yours for €300. One feature of the show was the amount of robotic equipment. Quite a lot of exhibitors had scale models of big setups, and some of these also had moving models. Inside one of the halls was a stand for Mammut merchandise, and they had a couple of new items to look at. The first, available immediately, is the 1:18 scale Mercedes-Benz Actros 4x2, and this is a Cavallino NZG model. Available later this year, maybe around September, will be the Gottwald AMK 126-63. This is an old-timer 6-axle mobile crane, and it will come in 3 different liveries. So it's something different to see a model of an older historic type crane. And the model maker is Kranlab, who previously made 1:87 scale models. Sennebogen was showing what was listed as the 2024 version of the Sennebogen Starlifter, and among the changes seems to be ballast weights between the track frames and securing chains on the rear counterweight. There were also handrails around the top of the body. And this is presumably a rework of the previous Conrad model. Another model on display was this huge Sennebogen 895E materials handler. It is made by IMC Models and it's a resin model, but it does have some moving parts and the boom can be adjusted and it can be rotated. It also comes in a suitably huge display case. It is made in a limited run of 300 models, and it's a very big model, but it also has a big price, and that is €800. Another unusual model is this 728 tree handler machine, and it has a special tool at the end for handling trees. Also appearing was the 683E telescopic crawler crane. Wolfkran had a big stand, but no new scale models this year.
And our first function, which is the load stabilization. Alexei started by slightly swinging the load, and as we start pressing the high-speed positioning system button on the remote control, the load will immediately come to a complete stop.
Eine der wesentlichen Funktionen von HISPS ist das Unterdrücken der Schwingung auf Knopfdruck. Sie sahen gerade eben, dass
virar um cara, sabia?
Schwingstetter had a selection of concrete pump models on display, and although nothing was expressly stated as being new, there did seem to be some detail differences with some of them. On a different note, there was a trend at many merchandise stores to have Lego models of the equipment. And these Schwing ones were quite small, approximating to 1:50 scale. Docker is an Austrian company specialising in formwork and scaffolding, and they had built this giant tower. And for those that were prepared to queue, you could climb up to the top. Docker was one of the companies at Baumel with an absolutely huge exhibition space. Not only that, but the very last building that you can see here is a giant full-service restaurant for Docker customers. Another unusual model was this Jacko mini crane by IMC Models, and it's in the larger scale of 1:18. One of the biggest exhibits at Bauma was the new Tadano 1250-ton crawler crane, and it was on display complete with a boom booster section. Their merchandise shop didn't have any new scale model cranes available, but who knows, maybe one day a model of this new crawler crane will appear. Caterpillar had its usual exhibit of an entire hall full of machines, and it's a special year this year because it's Caterpillar's 100-year anniversary. And to celebrate that, they had an old Caterpillar 60 machine on display, and this was borrowed from a European museum. Next to the old-timer was a D6 in the same colour scheme, and that is the original Caterpillar Grey. In the busy Caterpillar merchandise shop there were some commemorative models to celebrate the anniversary, and the shelves had plenty of models for sale, and there seemed to be plenty of customers wanting to buy. Out of reach was this special anniversary model in gold and silver, and if you want to buy one, it's about 10,000 euros. And at today's tariff rate, US buyers should be able to get it for around $25,000.
Auf Knopfdruck werden wir gleich sehen, dass das HSPS-System die Ladung wieder einfängt.
Wir sind bald wieder in Hannover, da kennst du dich aus.
In the Manitowoc merchandise store, there was a selection of the usual models for sale. We have just been looking at the BCS 185 machine, and in the shop there was a new model of it for sale. The manufacturer is Conrad Models. Conrad had a sizable stand, but it was not Conrad Models. So the question is, does anybody ever really buy a machine because they've seen singers and dancers? Surely everybody wants a mixer truck tea set.
Neuer Punkt, den wir noch nicht angesprochen haben, ist das Prinzip.
The Bobcat store had plenty of models for sale, and a new one is the L95 in 1:25 scale by IMC Models.
Dort sind die Anbaugeräte Wechseln im Einsatz. Der Fiat Panda, kennen Sie den Fiat Panda? Der hat einen Wendepreis, ich weiß nicht, von 3 Metern oder sowas. Aber Menzimuck ist noch besser. Kleinerer Wendepreis als ein kleiner Fiat Panda. Der ist wirklich wendig und der kommt überall hin. Und all wo Sie ihn hinhaben wollen. Wie gesagt, Sie wissen heute nicht, wo Sie morgen zum Einsatz kommen. Und Sie können sich vielleicht erinnern, dass ich Ihnen gesagt habe, ich zeige Ihnen, wozu dieses Einradförderteil rückwärts braucht. Jetzt kommen wir drauf zurück. Wir stellen uns gemeinsam vor, Sie arbeiten in einem betonierten Kanal. Ja? Betoniert, V-förmig, unten ganz eng. Und da arbeiten Sie. Da fahren Sie mit Ihrem Bagger also rein und irgendwann ist kein Vorwärts gekommen mehr. Und stehen Sie da und Sie arbeiten und dann sollen Sie verlegen um 3 Meter nach links oder 3 Meter nach rechts. Aber es geht nicht. Sie stehen da ja fix und fertig. Hinten ist nicht vorne, ist nicht mehr Platz. Was machen Sie denn jetzt, wenn es nicht mehr seitwärts geht? Ja. Menzimuck kann das. Und dazu ist das gut, was ich Ihnen jetzt zeigen möchte. An diesem Hang dort vorne. Sie können sich erinnern, ein Rad, 2 Räder in der Luft, ne? Und 1 dreht vorwärts, 1 dreht rückwärts. Wozu ist das gut? Dazu. Wir werden jetzt diesen Bagger im Krebsgang bewegen. Seitwärts. Keine Maschine auf der ganzen Welt kann seitwärts. Außer einer. Und die sehen Sie gerade. Ein Menzimuck. Und wir haben Ihnen ein Praxisbeispiel genannt, wozu das gut ist. Denn das ist ja immer die Frage. Super. Aber das muss ja auch einen Zweck haben. Schauen Sie mal bitte. Und wieder die Frage, welches der beiden Räder dreht jetzt vorwärts, welches rückwärts. Schauen Sie bitte auch auf diese Räder hier. Ja? Die drehen gegenläufig. Sehen Sie das? Genauso wie die vorderen Räder.
The biggest stand at the show is that belonging to Liebherr. The office complex you can see here is only half of it, and there's a huge outside area full of machines. Between the 2 office blocks there's this huge atrium, and all of this was built just for this 1-week show. Building started in 2024 and dismantling starts straight after the show. Here they're giving out free Liebherr caps, and there's a snaking line to pick one up that runs continuously. It was good to see an LTM 1650 at the show, but surprising that they let it appear with a cracked windscreen.
Ja, inshallah.
Mit den anderen großen Bagger.
Das Stichwort lautet
Ja, Liquifix, das ist das Schnellkuppelsystem aus dem Hause Liebherr, das kennen Sie schon seit Jahren, aber jetzt ist es eben auch in Verbindung mit Lyricon erhältlich. Das heißt, Sie können von egal wo aus der Welt jetzt die Anbauwerkzeuge an Ihrer Maschine wechseln. Sie können sie vor allem damit auch hydraulisch, mechanisch und elektrisch verstehen.
Also, mit Lyricon lässt es sich einfach arbeiten, das Device durch Netzvertrag mit der Klavierraum und hier schon mal dazu.
Of course, Liebherr had a shop, and it was so busy you had to queue if you wanted to get in. But it was worth it because there was plenty of new stuff to see, including this new LTM 1300 mobile crane, and it's made by WSI Models and also seems to come with a fly jib. Also new from WSI Models was the LR 1400 SX crawler crane. It's a very large and impressive model, but with a price to match of around €900. Next up was the long-awaited LB45.1 foundation machine, and it's made by NZG. And here you see it in a rotary drilling rig configuration. From Conrad is the LTM 1055 3.3 mobile crane. And also the tiny A909 wheeled excavator. From WSI is the R998 SME excavator. And from Conrad is the RE25 railroad excavator. The Notabome shop had an impressive selection of Redline scale models, and a number of them were new configurations, either from WSI or IMC models.
Yeah, that's a pity. Yes. What? Okay. Next one, please. Yeah, that's for me.
The Palfinger shop also had some new models from WSI, including the unusual carry-on forklift. There were also new loader cranes in a smaller and medium size. The Goldhofer shop had a number of new models from Conrad, and the parts should enable some flexible configurations to be built. Another new crane model was on display in the Kobelco shop. It is the TKE 750G and it's produced by IMC Models. The Wirtgen Group is another exhibitor with a giant stand. Construction of it started in 2024 and their giant building was built just for this 1 week show. At the Wirtgen shop it was no surprise to find more new scale models, and they included Harm rollers and Vögler pavers by NZG. There's a new Kleemann machine coming from Conrad Models. And an updated Wirtgen machine by NZG. Hyundai had a very large-scale excavator model, and it looked great, but at a large-scale price too. The Atlas shop was selling a new wheeled excavator model. It is the Atlas 155W and it's by NZG. Here is the box for it, and on the back you can see the new NZG logo.
And he's going to give the front row a little bit of adrenaline rush. Let's see just how good of a driver he is. He's perfect, of course. Our Lars doing a great job. Thank you so much. And with that, let's move on to the... Now, Peter, of course, is very professional. He does it so fast, it might have been difficult for you to follow what all he was doing. And if you say, I'd like to try this out too, we have a simulator just over here in Hall 6. You can see how easy it is to change attachments. And having said that, now let's enjoy the view up here with our Peter. And please be sure when he comes spinning around, check out how comfortable he is sitting, laying rather, in his cab. More comfortable than all of us. We might get a bit of a neck strain. Here he comes, spinning around with a fantastic view over the Boma right here. There he is, Peter coming into view. very good. Thank you so much, Peter.
Čekaj, koji je bager vodio to je ovaj najveći, 5,8 tisuća. Ne, ima X. Čekaj, sad ću ovo vidjeti šta je.
Once again, the Bauma exhibition was hugely impressive. There was an amazing variety of machines of all shapes and sizes, and it's a great place to go if you want some heavy-duty walking practice. It is held once every 3 years, so the next show will be in 2028. So if you like what you have seen in this video, then start making your plans to visit in 2028.